Explanation. The woman can, with regard to gendered or sexual acts, be bisexual, so therefore exercise both a same-sex love, lesbianism, as well as a sexual act, intercourse between man and woman, which equals heterosexual. If a woman is connected matrimonially with a man, however, then she should not be able to have a sexual relationship only with another woman, if at all, but she is also to maintain an appropriate sexual relationship with her husband. If the wife disregards or does not maintain the sexuality with the husband, but only maintains the same-sex relationship with another woman, then she is to be brought to a place of fulfillment of guidelines for her lifetime, where she is only among women, which also means then that she is defeminized, separated from men. This law is equally valid for the husband if he does not fulfill his sexual obligation with regard to his wife, but exercises this only with other women in heterosexuality, or only with another man in bisexuality. 12. When inseminator and inseminator join together for the procreation of descendants, the life is desecrated and destroyed. But if conceiver and conceiver join together, there is neither desecration nor destruction nor procreation. For the conception is also the bearing one. 13. Truly I say to you, there is no animal or creature living beneath the firmament that is like the human being and violates the laws of the creation and the nature. But are you not much more than the animals and the creatures? 14. No animal or creature is found under the firmament, on the earth, or in the atmosphere, concerning which male and male join together for coitus, for the procreation of descendants. But female and female are found together among the animals and the creatures, as well as male and female, because they follow the laws of the nature. 15. Whosoever indulges in fornication for the sake of the pay or the pleasure is to be separated from men or women and expelled and banished before the people, separated to a place of fulfillment of guidelines. This corresponds to the laws of the creation, which are mindful of, directed towards order. 16. Whichever man or whichever woman who sexually abuses a child is unworthy of his or her life and its laws, and shall therefore be punished by being separated from men or women, and the bearer of guilt is to be removed from the free life for his or her lifetime through a fulfillment of guidelines in unfreedom and separation, exclusion from the society, separation to a place of fulfillment of guidelines. The Plejaren stick people like this on remote islands so that they can't have any communication with anyone. On Earth, these pedophiles are usually sent to jails, which is a little bit inhumane, but better than taking their life. 17. But whosoever indulges in the shaming of blood, sexual or gendered intercourse between close blood relatives equals incest, whether woman or man, is unworthy of the life and its laws, and shall be delivered over to the courts, that he or she may be separated from men or women, and that the bearer of guilt may be removed from the free life for his or her lifetime. Through a fulfillment of guidelines in unfreedom and separation, exclusion from the society equals separation to a place of fulfillment of guidelines. 18. Whosoever has sexual intercourse with an animal or creature, sodomy, is unworthy of the life and its laws, and shall be separated from men or women, and expelled through a fulfillment of guidelines and banished before the people. Be excluded from the society equals separated to a place of fulfillment of guidelines, most likely jail on earth. Whosoever espouses, marries him or herself to a man or woman divorced in guilt of violence, Gewalt, shall be separated from men or women because they are unworthy of the life and its laws, and they shall both be expelled and banished before the people. Be excluded from the society, which is equal to separated to a place of fulfillment of guidelines. Explanation. If a human being, man or woman, is divorced as a result of the guilt of violence, Gewalt, then this means that violence, Gewalt, from one side or the other prevailed in the marriage. That is, that the husband treated his wife violently, so beat her up and maltreated her, etc., or that the wife did such to her husband. Such a violent behavior in a marriage or other bond-like partnership is inhumane and punishable. And indeed, not only according to the creational natural laws and recommendations, but also according to the purely human and social ones, through which order and rightfulness are regulated. 20. If a man begets a child and the woman is not espoused, is not married to him, and he leaves her espoused, not married, or not received into some other lifelong bond with him, and does not take care of the woman and child, he is unworthy of his life and its laws, and shall therefore be applied to the laws, that he may be emasculated and removed of his freedom for a long time, but that he may provide compensation for pain and suffering for the child until he or she becomes of age, becomes an adult. Be excluded from society equals separated to a place of fulfillment of guidelines, at which he must work for earnings and must pay for the child's upkeep, child support. 21. Whosoever commits gendered sexual robbery against a woman or a man, rapes a woman or a man, is unworthy of his or her life and its laws, and shall therefore be applied to the laws, that he or she may be separated from men or women, and that whoever is culpable may be removed from his or her free life for his or her lifetime, through a fulfillment of guidelines in unfreedom and separation. Separation from the society, separation to a place of fulfillment of guidelines, most likely jail for the rest of his life. 22. Whosoever commits evil violence, Gewalt, against another human being's body, life, or thoughts, or inflicts damage in his or her impression, feeling, is unworthy of life and its laws, and shall therefore be punished, that he or she may be removed of his or her free life for his or her lifetime through a fulfillment of guidelines in unfreedom and isolation, exclusion from the society. 23. Truly, truly I say to you, these laws are given as regulation by the creation and the nature, and they shall be followed. Otherwise, the human beings will bring death to themselves in their whole mass. 24. This earth can support and nourish 529 times 1,000 times 1,000, or 529 million people, or human beings of all human species. But if the human species do not follow the laws, in 2 times 1,000 years, which is what we're in now, 2025, there will be 10 times in more human beings, which is true. There's almost 9.6 billion people on the earth now. And the earth will not support and nourish them unto all of its ends. Therefore, hunger will then reign. The earth will then no longer be able to nourish the human beings everywhere. Consequently, great famines will appear. 25. The demon, which will bring great hardship and hunger and evil, cataclysms, catastrophes into the whole world, will far-reaching worldwide and oversized, tremendous destructions by the nature, will be founded in the human species' narrow-mindedness, unintellect, and evil-doing and guilt since old time, and will also bring itself in well into the time to come, future. 26. And so great unhuman wars will break out in the coming time, over and over again unto the ends of the earth, worldwide, and raging, rampant illnesses and infirmities will bring innumerable deaths. And in the coming time, unto the ends of the world, worldwide, the unpeace will rule the human species, who will kill themselves in large accumulations, masses, and those who will survive without suffering or disadvantage will not know what to do about it, will not be able to do anything about it, or even many of them will fall into the unconcernedness, disinterest, and apathy. 27. Truly I say to you, there will be wailing and chattering of teeth when so much human blood drenches the sands of the earth, that new life forms, viruses, epidemics, and mutations, etc., arise from it. Thus, the final horror will come upon the human species. 28. But on this day and throughout all times, everything good is permitted to you, and to you are given the laws and recommendations by which you are to live, so that there will be love and peace and consonance, harmony, and so that the insidiousness and malice and all evils of the wretchedness, badness among the human species will be carried away, vanish, be resolved, and no war cries will resound over the earth anymore. 29. And you are to follow additional laws and recommendations so that you will have prosperity on earth and peace within your families. 30. Do away with enforcing the old and wrong and confused law, which irrational, false prophets have brought, that the woman is to be subject to the man, for she is a life form like the man, with equal rights and consciousness, duties. 31. But when a man makes a bond with, marries a woman, he shall distribute, give, to the woman's steward, who is most trusted in oversight, administration, for her, or to her herself, an appropriate number and an appropriate amount as security, adequate wealth, so that she will not suffer from lack of necessities. Likewise, goods as a mourning gift, dower, bride wealth also applies, which shall be devoted to belong to the woman. 32. Not permitted, however, is the wickedness, bad habit, as is given by false prophets and by false handed down knowledge, tradition, that an assessment price is to be paid from the man, bridegroom, for the woman to her father or mother or brothers or relatives, uncles, aunts, etc., or to a matchmaker or deliverer, dealer. 33. Likewise, not permitted is the wickedness, bad habit, as will be given by false prophets, and by false handed down knowledge, tradition, that a mourning gift, dowry, is given from the father or the mother or from the brother or from relatives for the woman, daughter, sister, one entrusted to the care of another, and is an obligation, duty. So this is entitled to the man, bridegroom, who makes the bond with, marries the woman. 34. This is permitted to the father and mother and relatives only as a gift. So the gift is given So the gift is given unbidden, free willingly, and thus no call, no demand, no longing by the woman, the daughter, or the man bridegroom is given. The man is the sustainer and provider, the man is the sustainer and provider, breadwinner for women and child. So the woman regulates the house, maintains the housekeeping, and keeps order, and protects and raises the descendants. Therefore, the woman, like the man, carries out an endeavor, work, be it by contributing to all necessary allowances, subsistence equals nourishment, food, clothing, and maintaining of all needs. Explanation. The man bridegroom is to hand over adequate wealth to the woman bride for the marriage, so that the woman can satisfy and pay for her personal needs and things. Also, an adequate dower from the side of the man bridegroom is to be brought in. However, what comes from tradition and is not permitted is a dowry from the parents or relatives for the daughter, in order practically to sell the daughter to her bridegroom thereby, or simply to present her to the man. Of course, the times, traditions, and modes of behavior have changed very much since Jmmanuel's time. So nowadays, as a rule, the woman, like the man, pursues a work for compensation and goes out to work as well, family income. Also, with regard to her own wealth, she likewise makes such herself because she is employed, just as she also works together with the man concerning the dower and their own apartment or home, etc. Consequently, everything is worked out and purchased together. But unfortunately, this is not always so, because nowadays one's very because nowadays one's very often get married and start a family out of the blue, without the professional and financial possibilities and securities being given for it, which often leads to poverty and to social assistance. Thus, it would be of urgent necessity and importance that Jmmanuel's teaching with regard to entering into a marriage and starting a family would also be taken into consideration. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, and Salome.